I think now it should be working. And then we can have a look at some jobs and qualifications. So I'm going to show you 3 pictures. First of all, very easy, name the jobs. What are the people's jobs? Let's try to recognize them. Yeah. So the very first one, Artem, what job is it?
DJ.
No, he isn't a DJ.
Sorry. Here is I can see video game designer. I can
Yes,
see.
exactly. He's a video game designer. That is right. Hava, what about this one? You can see, but how do we pronounce it?
Maybe cosmonaut.
He's an astronaut. Yeah, you can say astronaut. Yeah?
Okay.
So in English, it's called astronaut. Okay. Artem, and who's the third one?
Journalist.
Journalist. Very good. Okay, guys. So we've got here completely different jobs. I'd like you to think of some characteristics and skills each of this person needs to do this job. You can choose any of these jobs you like. So, Artem, who would you like to speak about?
Okay, I will take video game designer.
All right, go ahead.
I need to start right now. Right?
Yes, let's discuss it together.
Video game designer needs, yes, needs to be I don't know, good looker, maybe, to have good viewing of 3 dimensions objects. Also have a good skills in way of thinking about about a plot.
All right.
Also, he needs to be good at programming.
Yeah, that's so good.
And I think this work is for young people, because you need to be very progressive and have a young mind.
Okay. Yes, you should know how the most modern technology works. Yeah. So, all right, Artem, and you mentioned mostly the skills that the person needs. It's fantastic. What about personal characteristics? Maybe he has to be creative or patient or something else?
Yes, like I said, he must be, not must be, but required to, not required, it's always a young person. And he or she must be, I think, not must be, but required to be active, to like video games. By himself or herself.
All right.
Also, I don't know.
Okay. Perfect. Well, actually, that was great. Thank you. Hava, who would you like to speak about? Astronaut, journalist?
Maybe astronaut, but I didn't understand how we need to say.
So you can think of skills the person should have, yes, and maybe some personal characteristics. Yeah.
I think that to be astronaut, it's a person must be totally healthy, but because it's нагрузка, как сказать?
Pressure.
Because this work have a lot of pressure on health,
Mm-hmm.
on the human organism.
Yeah.
Then I think it's need to be
He needs to be, or she needs to be. Yeah?
he needs to be resistant on from the stress.
Yes.
Because they must to
No to after must cover. Yes, they must. And
they must как расстаться?
Oh, separate from
Their family for long time, and they must have resistant как сказать, устойчивая психика.
Okay, yes, they have to be to have stable, stable psychological state. Yeah, or they have to be in a good psychological state. Вот так.
They have to be good psychological state because it can be some problems there. And they have to solve some problems quickly.
Right. Sometimes completely unexpected problems.
Yes, and but they have a very interesting work.
Yes, I'm so sure. Right. Okay. I believe they also have to be hardworking. Yes, especially not only when they are out in space, but when they are practicing or preparing, they have to keep the diet. Sometimes they have to train and so on. Yeah, right. Lots of things to do.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yes, sure, Artem. Go ahead.
It's interesting that about he or she. It was interesting because always when I've been in the United States, I spoke about we discussed something medicine, surgery, and I always said something like this: the surgeon and he's. And my professor told me, be careful because you need to say he or she because it's not it's not polite to say he because surgeons can be women too.
Exactly. Artem, to avoid this problem, you can always say they. Yeah, and you will never make a mistake with they, right? But it's true. It's Russian. I don't know why we usually tend to say he, but the Americans, the Europeans would consider it as sexist,
Yes,
and as a discrimination. So you really have to watch it out. He or she or they, right? Astronauts, they have to be, and so on, right? Okay, perfect. So, and then we've got one more, journalist. Artem, what do you think? What are the important traits or qualities or skills for a journalist?
I think journalists must be active, must be smart, must be well communicating person.
All right. No, it's better to say the journalist should have good communicating skills.
Yes, should have good communicating skills.
That's right.
Also, journalists should be should be easy moving.
What do you mean?
I think I think journalists should react very fast for some accidents or something like this, and go there 24 hours a day.
Yeah, all right. Should be available and ready, yes?
Yes.
Mhm.
And also, one second, I have a patient. Sorry.
All right. Uh-huh.
Здрасте.
Uh-huh.
Все, сейчас заходите, да. Sorry.
Yes, sure. All right. So, Hava, what else do you think about a journalist?
I think they also need to be a good psychological state, because people may be different, and they have to be a good speaking, как речь сказать, good speaking.
They should have good speech.
Good speech,
Uh-huh.
good speech and articulation.
Okay. To speak clearly, yes.
Yes, clearly, and they also need to be. Я все слова забываю. Уверенный, я знала это. Confident, yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's so good. Okay, I definitely agree. Plus, I think they have to know a lot of things, right? So, I mean, they need to have a lot of background information. Yeah, especially about the person they are interviewing, about politics, about current events. Yeah, so they have to be well informed. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a be careful. We say psychological. Letter P. We write.
Psychological.
We don't say. Yeah. So psychological. They have to be
okay.
Psychological state. Right. Now I'm going to show you some characteristics or requirements, and let's look at them and decide who does it suit mostly. Yeah, the most, an astronaut, journalist, or a video game designer. For example, have a background in engineering. So they say, I think an astronaut needs to have a background in engineering. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I also think have that a video как это? Game player, game designer. They also need have a background in engineering.
Very good. I definitely agree with you. Yes. All right. Let's look at the next one. And I first would like to help you a little with the word flair. Do you have an idea what it is?
Have a flair for visual storytelling. Flair, maybe навык.
It's not exactly skill. It's more like a talent. Okay. So flair is a talent.
Have a flair for visual storytelling. I think it's about journalists.
Okay, visual storytelling. Possible, it's nice about visual storytelling. So visual is something what we see. Is it about journalists, do you think?
Visual. I think storytelling, it's about journalism.
Yes, but when it is a visual storytelling, isn't it about video game designer? Because very often a video game has got a story in it. Yeah?
Story?
Yeah.
Но они же ничего не... Ну, их же работа, как бы, они остаются за кадром.
Да, но они...
Они же ничего не рассказывают.
Да, они придумывают историю, а мы ее видим, визуально. So that is a visual storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. So I think it's about a video game designer to have a flair for visual storytelling. Yeah. Okay, what about the next one?
Be willing to question everything.
Who is that?
It's about journalists.
Definitely, yes. To be willing to question everything. All right.
Что было это willing? Вроде я
Will
знала.
is when I want it. Will
Мгм,
это такое прям сильное желание. Yeah?
мгм,
Willing, желать, узнать обо всем, да, все расспросить обо всем.
мгм,
Good.
мгм. Маргарита, хотела предупредить, в 12 мне тоже придется, к сожалению, отключиться.
Okay. We exactly have time to finish this
Мгм,
vocabulary set.
мгм.
Yes, that's so nice. All right. So the course, be
Mhm.
fluent.
Be fluent in at least one foreign language.
Uh-huh.
Fluent in at least one. Be fluent in. I think it's about. It's maybe all of them.
Yes, right.
Mhm,
All of them would need it. Uh-huh.
mhm,
Right. Mostly probably it's true for the journalist, yeah,
mhm.
especially if it is an international journalist.
Yeah.
But
Mhm,
Pava, you are right, it's true for everyone. Please be careful. We always say to be fluent in some language. Yeah, for example, I'm
mhm,
fluent in English, I'm fluent in German, and so on. Right?
mhm,
Good.
mhm.
All right. What's next?
Be able to cope with zero gravity.
Mhm.
To cope, what is this?
To cope with, in Russian, we say справляться.
Mhm. It's about the astronauts.
Absolutely. Yes. Right. Zero gravity is only for him. Okay.
Not be too bothered about having free time.
Yes. Not be too bothered. How would you understand that?
Not be. Не должен
Мгм.
переживать по поводу свободного времени.
Да, все верно. Right. Who is that?
Мгм.
Who's got no free time, do you think?
М, Maybe
Mhm.
game designer.
Possible. Yeah. Sometimes if they have to finish a video game, they work a night and day and then again
Yeah,
nights and days.
because he need only computer to work, and
That's
he can work all day and night.
totally right. What about an astronaut? If he's
Uh,
sent to space,
I think they have some holidays
yeah,
on their works.
right. What about journalists?
I think they have some schedule of his
Mhm.
work, and weekend maybe they have, and some and I think it's depends on, because some journalists need to be have to work with some emergency situations.
That's right. So it depends. Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
What about 7? That is such a nice phrase. I love it. To have a passion for gaming. How do you understand passion?
Passion
Passion.
for gaming.
Yeah. What is passion?
Стремление, может быть,
Страсть.
страсть.
Да.
Да.
Прям как в любом
Я это хотела
фильме.
сказать, да.
Yes.
Мгм.
All right. So who has to have a passion for gaming?
Мгм. It's video game designer.
Yeah, absolutely right. Passion. Good. What about next one?
Have a degree in science or mathematics. I think it's about astronauts.
Yeah, makes sense. I think so. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. What's next?
Have 3 years postgraduate experience. Maybe astronaut. I
Right.
think it's mostly about astronaut.
Yeah, you're quite right. I think so. I think it can be also true for a journalist. Yeah.
Maybe.
So first you work 3 years, I don't know, correcting the texts,
Mm.
yes, or assisting anyone, and then you can start working yourself. Mhm.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
And how about the tense?
I have strong problem solving skill. Have strong problem solving skills.
Yes.
I think, as I said, it's
Mhm.
about astronaut.
Yes, obviously, problem-solving skills is for astronaut. What about video game designer?
I think he have also have he can have some problems
Mhm.
in his work,
Right.
but not so strong.
Okay, okay.
Because astronauts his problems of astronaut it's depends for life.
Yeah, or
Mhm.
it's true, you can't compare it exactly.
Mhm.
But still, these skills, I think the video game designer needs to have good problem-solving skills, yeah, because they need to decide and solve problems very quickly. Yeah. We will listen and check what the students' book suggests, yeah, what ideas they have. Так, okay, why is it not opening? Give me a second and we will listen and check what they think about it, right?
Mhm.
We'll see if we agree or disagree with it. Yeah, let's listen.
Unit 4, Recording 3. Astronaut.
Back in the 1960s, you weren't allowed to become an astronaut without a pilot's license and a background in engineering. You also had to be shorter than 1 meter 80 centimeters in order to fit in the Mercury space capsule. These days, you don't have to have a pilot's license, although it's handy if you do, but you must have a degree in science, engineering, or mathematics, and 3 years postgraduate experience.
Mhm.
That means a strong background in one of those disciplines. In terms of character, you mustn't be a loner or a wannabe hero. It's all about being a team player who doesn't take risks. And of course, you have to be able to cope with zero gravity. It takes 3 or 4 days to get used to that when you first go into space.
Journal.
Okay, so what was about the astronaut? Which numbers?
1,
Yes,
5,
5, totally right.
8,
8, all right.
9.
9, That's it, yes.
Вот 10 я не помню, не было там.
Не было. No, no. Okay, so only these ones, yes? All right. Let's move on. And then, I think the next comes video game designer. We'll see.
Of course, you have to be able to cope with zero gravity. It takes 3 or 4 days to get used to that when you first go into space.
Journalist.
Journalist, I'm sorry.
In the past, you typed your stories up on paper and faxed them in, or even dropped them on someone's desk. Back then, you didn't need to know how to live tweet a story, and there was no internet to check your facts. You had to get up off your chair and knock on doors. These days, it's all different. You're expected to be social media savvy, but you're not normally required to have a university degree unless it's a specialist subject you want to report on. Some things are still the same. It helps to have a driving license, and it helps to be fluent in at least one foreign language. But in terms of character, you need to be willing to question everything, and you can't be too bothered about having free time. If a story breaks, you drop everything to be there, evenings, weekends, even nights if necessary.
Okay, that was it for a journalist. Which ones did you get?
3, 4,
Yes.
6.
And 6, exactly, right, totally agree. Chava, and here it's very interesting, willing to question everything that would mean you would want to know everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and listen to the last one. We'll have the video game designer, what suits him. Yes, Artem, please
Mhm.
listen as well, right?
Video game designer.
This job, it's a relatively new profession. But the older game designers in the business, I mean, the ones who've been doing it for a while, they didn't have to have any qualifications. They just had to be able to code, And they had to have a passion for gaming, which is still the case today. But the job is evolving really fast. These days, a really big game costs more to make than a Hollywood movie. So there are definitely job opportunities, but you have to have qualifications and strong problem-solving skills. Designing games is really about solving problems. Plenty of universities offer a degree in game design, and it helps if you have that. And you've got to be able to use the software packages, of course. But the really successful game designers, they just have something else. I guess you could call it a flair for visual storytelling.
Right. So which ones?
Have a flair of visual storytelling.
Storytelling and something more?
Have a passion for gaming.
Passion for gaming, right. What about number 7? Have a passion, have a passion for gaming, that's right. And problem solving skills, yes, did he say it?
I can catch.
No, you
this.
didn't. All right, let's hear it. Yes, let's hear this part one more time.
And they had to have a passion for it. This job, it's a relatively new profession. But the older game designers in the business, I mean, the ones who've been doing it for a while, they didn't have to have any qualifications. They just had to be able to code, And they had to have a passion for gaming, which is still the case today. But the job is evolving really fast. These days, a really big game costs more to make than a Hollywood movie. So there are definitely job opportunities, but you have to have qualifications and strong problem-solving skills.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
Mhm. Yeah.
problem solving skills, right? And you have to have a qualification, of course, right?
Mhm.
So do you agree with all the points?
Yeah.
Yes, all right, perfect. So, okay, Hava, is that time for you to go, or do you still stay with us a moment?
Mhm.
So, Hava, do you stay a moment
Yeah,
more with us? Or-
I have to go, unfortunately,
Right.
to my nephew. Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Right. Yes, see you next time then, right?
Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye, see you. All right. Then, Artem, let's continue looking at these phrases. We have actually had a quick look with how. Please scan them and tell me if you are sure about all of these phrases, or would you like to ask me some of them?
Sorry, what I need to do?
Check out these phrases. Do you understand them all? Do you know them all? If not, ask me, please. I'll help you.
What means flair? Flair? Вспышка?
Flair, that means talent. Talent. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And other words I already know. No.
Yes.
No problem. And I need to choose.
No. Okay. Do you understand them all now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Now I will ask you to look at these phrases and think, how can you, what can you say about doctors? What qualifications, what skills and qualities does a doctor need to have? Yeah. For example, here we discussed that an astronaut needs to have a background in engineering. But for doctors, maybe a doctor has to have a background in biology. But not a background, yeah?
I thought about it, and I think, yes, I agree.
All right, go on. What else might be true for a doctor?
Um,
And you
I
can
think-
say, I
I
think
think-
a doctor needs to, and blah, blah,
I think a doctor needs to have a background, to have a passion for medicine.
blah. Yes, and for helping people, yeah?
Helping people, yeah. Also, I think a doctor needs to have strong problem-solving skills,
Obviously.
and also to have good communication with people,
Yeah, communicating skills, yeah?
communicating skills.
Mhm.
Yes, also maybe it's good when a doctor has some years of postgraduate experience
Mhm.
in medicine in field.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
I'm
I-
also sure the doctor has to have a degree in medicine,
yes,
otherwise you can't
Yeah.
work, yeah?
yes.
Mhm.
In degree это степень же, да?
Ну, в смысле, законченный университет. Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, and also doctor need to have a degree in medicine. Yes.
Mhm, mhm, obviously. What should a doctor be willing to do?
I think it's a good habit to
Mhm.
have to be able
Mhm.
to question everything about health.
Yeah,
About- because
Mhm.
sometimes it's funny that my patients ask me to say something about another field of medicine, not urology, where I am not a super professional because I'm a neurologist, and the medicine is too big to know everything in another field of medicine. But
Mhm.
I need to say something about it, and I usually tell my patients
Mhm.
about maybe some things that I didn't sure enough, but they want to hear something, and it's
Alright.
better than not to say not to say anything.
Mhm. Right, but that's also good thing, yeah. If your patients ask you anything, you may consult with your consult your colleagues, right?
Yeah.
You may Google some things, and as a result, yes, widen your own knowledge. Yeah. All right.
Yes,
All
yes.
right. That's so nice. Artem, do you think it is useful for a doctor to be fluent in some language, in some foreign language?
Yes, I think it's nowadays it's very important because maybe like we discussed like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was not very useful for most of doctors.
Mhm.
Not very useful. It was useful, but they didn't do it, and doctors. Because we didn't have evidence-based medicine, and we didn't check last recommendation, European recommendation, American recommendation, only Russian recommendations. But nowadays it's very important to know at least one foreign language, and the main language is English. This is the international language, and that's why it's very useful to fluent in
yeah, it's really useful
to be fluent in English. Because all of international congress and books, how can I say, are in English language.
Yeah, I in English, all right. That's so good. Agree.
And that's why I'm here.
That's right. To be a progressive doctor, yeah, it's a good thing to be fluent in some language, in English, actually, in particular.
Yeah, I think in medicine, the most важное слово забыл.
Important.
Да что ж такое? The most important language is English.
Right. Yes, I believe so. Right. And Artem, do you think it's important for a doctor to be able to cope with stress?
Yes, definitely, because the profession, our profession, is stressful.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to be able to cope with stress and with the выгорание забыл слово.
Burnout.
Yeah, with burnout. Yeah, because we work with the ill people, and sometimes it's difficult to communicate with them, and they also usually they have psychiatric issues, and also you need to be like psychiatrist a little bit,
Right.
and it's interesting that usually our main tool is our words and or our speech, and when we communicate with patients, after that they usually feel more comfortable and relax, because it's like a psychiatric discussion or a psychiatric session.
Right. So the doctor definitely needs to be an empathic person, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in order to help people, not only physically, but mentally as well, right? And that is a stressful part of the job on the one hand. On the other hand, yes, it is the communicating skills, or so-called soft skills, that have to be very strong, very strong by a good doctor, by a nice doctor. This is actually what many doctors in the Soviet Union lacked. Yes, they probably were good doctors. I mean, they had good hard skills, and not bad knowledge, but the soft skills were sometimes questionable, right? Okay, cool. So Artem, can you please look at these phrases and think about any person you know? It can be anyone, right? It can be anyone from your family, anyone from your friends, and tell me about this person. So what does this person do, and which of these characteristics does this person have? Again, you may change the words in here. For example, for instance, my friend Jane is a designer, right? And she works in a design studio in Kaliningrad. The studio is super successful these days, and many cafes, restaurants, hotels would order the design from them. So as a designer, she definitely has a background knowledge in engineering and sketching, right? And programming, because they design it on computer programs. Yeah. Okay. So think of a person and tell me about this person.
Oh, I can tell you a story about, I think, my wife, maybe Alina.
Right, that's very interesting.
And she has a background in management, government management. She's fluent in at least one foreign language, English, and she knows English better than me, English language better than me, and always correct me when I speak English, and it's I think it's good, but it's not sometimes not comfortable for me, because I think about myself like I'm a loser.
Not too motivating, yes.
Yes, and also she have a passion for.
Have or she has?
Oh, sorry, she has a passion for I don't know, maybe music, and that's why she likes to sing. She likes to hear the music. Yes,
Listen to you.
listen music. Also, she recently she was a teacher, and that's why she was. She is able to cope with the children.
Yeah, that's so good.
It's not very easy. And also she has strong problem solving skills, because it's very difficult to work with small children in first in the how to say in
primary school, yeah.
Primary school, and also she has to have she has to have strong skills in communication with the parents.
All right, definitely.
Of children. Children's parents.
Okay, children's parents.
Because it's difficult field too.
I know what you mean exactly. Right. So, okay. What about degree? Does she have a degree?
Yes, she has a degree in government management.
All right.
But nowadays she doesn't work in this field. But I think all of her peers,
yeah,
they don't work in this field.
Yeah, very common. Yes, very common.
Because it's very wide, very wide, very wide, not profession, very wide. They have very wide skills in different work
areas. In different areas, yeah.
Different areas, yes.
Okay. So, and Alina has started coaching. Do you think she has got a passion for coaching these days?
Yes, definitely. She has a passion for coaching, I think she hasn't already decided. Can I say this?
Right, she hasn't decided yet.
She hasn't decided yet. It's good for her or not.
I see. Okay, right. But she still has a passion for that, right? I believe. Yeah?
Yes, but
Alright.
А как будет сомневаться, что я
Okay, she is in doubts.
she is
In doubts. I'm sure you remember the word to be. Doubts. Yeah. B is silent. To be in doubts.
in doubts.
Yeah. So she's in doubts, right?
Yes, she is in doubts.
In doubts, right? Okay, perfect. Artyom, very nice. Thank you so much, and really cool. Yes, that you managed to use these phrases because they are useful to speak about qualifications, about jobs and stuff, right? And they also sound very nice. Yes, so you managed to use them to speak about you, to speak about your wife, right? And next time we'll practice them up a little bit more. Yes, to make sure we remember them. As a recommendation, that will be really cool to check them out in workbook, and to practice them a little bit to make them remember. And I will also create Quizlet. So practice Quizlet as well to help you remember these words. All right?
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, then Artyom, have a lovely rest of the day today and see you in a week then, right?
Have a good weekend. Have a good week, not weekend.
Yes, it's just the beginning. Right. Thank you very much. So see you in a week then. Bye bye.